We are recording. Okay, lovely. Welcome everybody. So this is the first live session that I've done. I'm going to be doing them more regularly, not necessarily on a Friday. I'm just going to see how the timing goes. So today we are going to start with, this is going to be about a 30-minute Pilates class, mixed ability. So I'm going to give you lots of different variations. So there will be things that you can do, whether you've done Pilates before or not. No equipment is required. Just make sure that you've got a nice mat. If you have sore joints or knees and things, it might be useful to have a pillow handy to pop underneath your knee. And just make sure you've got some water ready at the ready as well. Good stuff. Okay, so we're going to come over onto the mat now. And we'll get started. So we'll start standing up for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the feet together and then just turning the toes out, creating a V shape with the feet. We're going to then turn the heels out. So we have a nice hip width distance. And we're going to take a few moments just to ground in here. So just take a moment just to arrive at your mat. Take some nice deep breaths in through the nose. And start to feel your feet down into the mat. Maybe padding the feet from side to side, swaying the body a little, just feeling that connection, that gravity pulling you down, the ground coming up to meet you. And then making sure that the knees are nice and soft. So throughout Pilates, we don't really want to lock our knees out. We want to have a nice, soft, spongy knees. And then we're going to come to our pelvis area here. So taking a few rocks, I'll stand side on so you can see. So we're just going to rock the pelvis in front and back until we find our neutral spine position. So your neutral spine is going to be different for everybody, but it's going to be a position where you're not overly arching and we're not overly hunched, your neutral spine position. Thinking about our core, throughout the movements, we want a 30% activation. So if you imagine you're wearing a really tight belt and it's got 10 notches on that belt, you tighten it all the way up to 10, it's going to be very challenging for you to breathe. So we want to loosen that to, say, a 3. So the way to do that is to tighten up to a 10, tighten your core as tight as you can, and then release it, relax, let the belly be relaxed, and that's 0. And then just tune it in, tighten it up just to about a 3, and then we've got that core connection. Lovely. So take a nice roll of the shoulders here as well. Just drawing the shoulders back and down the mat. Tucking the chin a little to elongate through the back of the neck. Feeling like we're being pulled upwards or have a nice straight position. And this is the beginning of our Pilates kind of setup position, as we call it. We're actually going to start the session this morning with some balancing. So balancing is quite an important part of Pilates, and it can be challenging. So coming back to our awareness of our feet, just take a moment again just to connect down with the feet. And we're going to lift the heel up of the right foot, coming up onto the right toe. Feeling your weight pulling down into the left leg. Remember that knee is nice and soft. And then bringing the heel down, coming back up onto the toe, onto the left foot. So we're just transferring our weight from one side to the other, nice and gently coming up. Lovely. Now, bringing the palms together in a sort of prayer position, we're now going to transfer our weight onto our left foot. So the right foot is still making contact with the ground. We're going to come up onto the right toe, feeling all your weight drawing down through the left side of the body. Good job. Okay, coming back to center, both feet flat down on the ground. We're going to come over onto the right hand leg, coming up onto the toe, feeling your weight on all the way down through the right hand side. And I've moved my hands over, just almost just acknowledging the fact that I am making contact with the ground. I'm stabilizing myself with my right hand side. And then coming back to center. Okay, we're going to make things a little bit more challenging now. We're going to come over onto the left hand side, keep the breathing nice and steady, grounding down through the left foot, coming up onto the right toe. And we're going to see if we can bring this leg up. So the right leg is going to hover up. It really helps to find a focus point, so something that's not moving in front of you. So a nice little spot. So don't focus on me because I'm going to be moving around. And then bringing that foot down, coming back into center. It doesn't matter if you wobble. It doesn't matter if you fall, as long as you don't hurt yourself. We're just finding our balance. Coming over now onto the right-hand side, coming up onto that toe, making sure that you're feeling comfortable and stable. Keep the breath still and steady. Breathing in and exhale, we're going to lift through and lifting that left knee, pointing the toe, grounding down, find your focus point, and then coming back to center. Good job. Okay, we're going to do that one more time, and then we're going to come into a little bit of breathing and some pelvic tilts. I hope you're all with me. If you need to support yourself on something, if you need to support yourself on a wall when you're doing the leg lifts, take the modification that is going to be helpful for you. Okay, so transferring our weight onto our left foot, coming up onto the toe of the right foot. Engage the core and engage that breathing, and we're going to lift and hold. So lifting, grounding down, finding that balance, noticing whether you're swaying around. Try not to make a judgment about it. Some days I'm all over the place, and other days I have more balance. And then coming back to center, resetting. Now moving our weight over, transferring our weight onto our right foot, coming up onto the toe, grounding down, make sure that knee is nice and soft. Inhale to prepare, keep the core engaged, and then coming up, bringing that leg up into a balanced position. It really helps having that focus point on the floor. And then coming back down. Lovely. At this point, we're just going to take some big circles with the arms. Nice and slow and steady, like almost like you're sort of washing the windows. Creating some nice big circles with the arms, bit of mobility through the arms. And then we're going to go backwards. So circling the arms, creating some nice big flowy movements. Keeping the core engaged throughout. Lovely. Okay, so coming to the end of your mat, we are going to do some roll downs now. So here we are going to, I'm going to stand over here. We're going to start by finding our setup position that we did at the beginning of the session. So nice straight, shoulders are back and down, knees are spongy, pelvis is in line. And we're going to roll the shoulders forward, tucking the chin. And we're going to roll down to the hands come just below the knees. And then we're going to come back up and roll. So we're going to take a few little roll downs like this before we come down fully onto our mat. So make sure you've got the full mat length in front of you. Take a nice deep breath in. And then exhale, rolling down, starting to bring some movement into the spine. And then coming back up. Good job. Okay, on the next one, we're going to come exhale as we come down, and then we're going to place our hands down on the ground. Now, if you have, I've got a little bit of a sore back, so I'm bending my knees quite a lot. You might have more flexibility than me, and so you might be able to come up and have more of a bent leg position. From here, we're going to walk the hands out, and then we're going to come onto our knees. And in this position, we're going to take a nice stretch back into child's pose. So reaching the fingertips forwards, taking a nice few breaths here, feeling a nice stretch through the lower back. Lovely. Okay, we're going to come to lying down now. Lying down with your head and your shoulders flat down on the floor. And you want to wiggle your heels up till you can just about touch the back of your heels with your middle finger here. If your feet are too far away, when we come to do the shoulder bridge, you might feel that your hamstrings feel quite tight. So your position here is you want a little bit of a gap just behind the back. All our bodies are so unique and individual, just making sure that we're not imprinting that lower back. So from here, we're going to start connecting our breath. So placing your hands with care on your ribs. We're just going to take a few breaths here. So breathing in and feeling the lungs expanding to the side. So it's a little different in Pilates to what we do in breath work when we focus on breathing into the belly. In Pilates, we're wanting to breathe into the side of the ribs. And we do this because the belly is normally switched on. This area, our TVA is switched on. So our breathing stays more or less up into the rib cage. So with your hands on the rib cage, just notice as you breathe in, your lungs will flare, your ribs will flare to the side, and then as you exhale, everything comes back together. Take a few breaths here, let the ribs expand to the side, and then exhale, feel everything come back together. Now we're going to bring some pelvic tilts into this as well. So as we exhale, we're going to lower and imprint the lower back down onto the mat. So if you imagine your pelvis is like a bowl of water, we're going to tilt the bowl of water towards us. As we inhale, we're going to send the pelvis the opposite way. So the bowl of water is going to tilt away from us. So exhale, we imprint. And inhale, we create a bit more space behind the lower back. So we're slightly arching to tilt the pelvis. Take a few breaths here, aligning your breath with the movement of your pelvis, connecting the breath with the body, and allowing that mind-body connection that's such an important part of Pilates. Lovely, good job. From here, we are going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, we're going to lift the left leg. Keep the toe pointed. Inhale, lower. Then we're going to go for the other side. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift the leg. Inhale, lower down. So we're starting to switch on the core area, doing our knee lifts. Good job. If you want to make it a bit more challenging, we're going to float the arms up ahead. So we're going to be lifting the knees, keeping the arms up. We want those arms to be nice and active. So I like to say, like, imagine you've got a ball or you're holding something invisible between your hands and you don't want it to drop. So we're almost like pushing our hands towards each other, but also keeping that shoulder width apart. Good job. Okay, so from here, we're going to lift both legs now into tabletop. So find your neutral pelvis position, making sure you've got a little bit of a gap underneath the lower back, lifting the knees up into tabletop position. We are going to start lowering the arms. So inhale to prepare, exhale, lower the arm. Inhale, lift, and lower, and lift. Keep that core strong and steady. You might feel the hips start to wave from side to side, trying to keep the hips as stable as possible. If you find this movement too challenging, then we can keep the knees down on the ground and we'll lower the arms. So that is your option, and always feel free to take those options as and when is needed. Good job. Okay, from here, we are going to integrate our full dead bug position. So we're going to extend, I always get my lefts and rights wrong when I do this, when we're going to extend the left leg and the right arm, and then coming back to center. Your option here, if this feels too strong on the core, or if you feel any excess arching of the lower back, is to stay doing what we were doing originally. So keep going with the arms and the legs. Otherwise, we're going to lengthen opposite sides. nice and slow and steady, feeling like we are lengthening through the arm and through the leg, and then give the knees a nice hug into the chest there. Good job, well done everybody. Take a few breaths here. From here, we're going to place the knees down onto the ground. We're going to take some shoulder bridges now. So remembering to wiggle your heels up just below, just so that you can just about touch them with your heels. And from here, we're going to push through the heels, coming up into our shoulder bridge, and then lowering back down. So to play as we come up, we're exhaling. You want a nice smooth ski slope position from the knees, and then lowering the spine back down, vertebra by vertebra, in this beautiful sort of wave of the spine, feeling that spinal articulation. Lovely. Coming up and lowering back down. Your option here is to float those arms up. So as we come up, keeping those arms up, it just creates a little less stability. So this is, I would say, your more advanced option. And lowering down. If you want to go one step further, we're going to lift up, float the arms up and back and lower. Coming up, float the arms down, coming up and lowering back down. Nice and slow and steady. I hope you can't hear that noise. I think somebody started drilling just outside my studio. Hopefully that's not coming on the camera. Coming up and lowering. Okay, on this one, we're going to come up into our glute bridge and we're going to stay in this position. We're going to take the heels off the ground and slowly place them back down. This sometimes feels a little bit strong and a little bit juddery. So just going nice and steady. I'm juddering so much as I'm coming down, lowering down. It's a really great control. This one. And then coming back down, finding your neutral position, just taking the knees over to the side. Have a nice little supine stretch here. And then moving the knees over onto the other side as well. Take a nice little stretch. Okay, from here, we are going to do an exercise that in Pilates we call the 100. This is predominantly a core exercise, a little bit of hip stability involved in here as well. We've got a couple of options. So your option number one is to stay with the toe taps, okay? Bringing the knee up and tapping the toe down. Bringing the knee up, tapping the toe down. Option number two is we're going to lift the knees up into tabletop, float the arms by the side, and we're going to inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. And as we count the 5, we're pumping with our arms. So we're going to inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. All the way to 100. To make it a little bit more challenging, we're going to lift the head and the shoulders slightly off the ground, imagining that you've got an orange underneath your chin, so keeping your neck elongated, and we're going to pump those arms. So inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 40. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 60. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 80. If you need to rest at any point or change or modify, feel free to. Let's go for the last 20. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And rest there. Hug the knees into the chest. Take a nice little roll from side to side. Hopefully you're feeling very warm. I'm feeling very warm. I had to close the window because it was so noisy outside. I'm going to have to take some fresh air after that. Lovely. Okay, from here, we are going to do a little roll up. So rocking forwards and back. So take the rocks however feels comfortable for you. If this doesn't feel comfortable, if it feels too uncomfortable on the spine, we're just going to come up into sitting. Otherwise, have a little bit of fun with a little roll up. Moves a nice little bit of energy around the body. So rocking back, using our abdominal muscles to rock until we come into a seated position. Good job, everybody. Just doing a little time check there. Okay, we're going to come up into a side lying position. You want to make sure that your elbow is directly below your shoulder. And we're going to start on the left-hand side. If you have, like I said, if you have sore joints and knees and things, this might be an opportunity where you want to grab a pillow and pop this underneath your arm. We are going to bend the knees so that you're in a sort of like a side lying position. And from here, we're going to take a few side stretches. So option number one is to stay in this position that I'm doing. And as we inhale to prepare, exhale, we're going to sweep the arm over and kind of banana shape our body and inhale to come back. We want to try and make sure that the hips are stacked neatly on top of each other so that we're not moving forwards or back. I would like to imagine I've got headlights on my hips and they're shining in a direct position, not shining up at the ceiling or anything. So we're going to take a few side bends here. Inhale to prepare, exhale, coming up and over. Really seeing if you can make some space, create some flexion of the spine here, and then coming back. We'll do this a few more times. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. It's a lovely movement for the spine, this lateral flexion. Reaching up and over, really healthy movement for the spine, creating lots of nice blood flow through the body. Beautiful stretch to do in the morning. Coming back one more time, reaching over and then coming back. Okay, if you have a sore elbow, give it a little rub because we're going to go back into this position lying down here. Okay, we're going to take a few counts. So you're going to extend the legs just a little bit, still have a little bend in the leg. Bringing the knees up. We're going to take a few clamshells now. Option to lift the feet off the mat. And we're going to open and close the legs. So again, working on stacking the hips on top of the other, really focusing on that form and that technique. Keep this top leg nice and active, opening and feeling that strength into the glute area. And then rest there. Good job. We'll take a few cat-cows just before we come into the other side. So inhale, we're going to arch the back. And then exhale, dropping the tummy down to the mat. Inhale, pressing through the palms. And then exhale. So really allow yourself to be free with the movement. Start to tune into the body. See how the body feels today. See if we can open up a little bit more space in the areas that maybe don't feel so spacious. And then we're going to come onto our side again for our side bend. So coming up onto the elbow. Stacking the knees one on top of the other. And we're going to come into our side bend. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, floating the arms up. And inhale to lower. We're also working those oblique muscles whilst we're stretching our spine. So in Pilates, all the exercises that we do have an element of strength, an element of mobility, an element of alignment, so precision, and we can really make each exercise as challenging as we need to, as we want to during that day. Last two, well done. And good job resting there. Okay, sliding the feet out a little, we're going to take our clamshells on the other side. So get your alignment, find your hips stacked one on top of the other. Option again to lift the feet off the ground, and we will take our clamshells. So dropping the knee down and then opening up. Dropping the knee down, opening up. Really feel you're pressing your feet together. So especially if you're up in this position, pressing the feet together is going to help to activate the legs a little bit more. And we're also activating our psoas muscle, which is this muscle down the side. It has an insertion point on the hip and also up on the spine and the diaphragm, working a lot of different areas of the body. And then rest there. Lovely. Okay, coming down to lying, we're now going to come into our cool down part of the program. So lying down, we're going to take the knees over to the right hand side, take the arms out to the side and turn your gaze to the left hand side, creating a nice supine spinal twist. Take some nice deep breaths here. Just notice how the body's feeling. Notice if you're feeling a little bit warmer, bringing the knees up and then taking them down into the other side. Gaze comes over towards the right. Lovely. Then bringing the knees up, we're going to extend the right leg, the left leg, and then bringing the right knee up, interlace the fingers and just hug that right knee in towards your chest. Give the ankle a little roll, clockwise, anti-clockwise. Swapping sides, so extending the right leg, bringing the left knee in towards the body. Give the ankle a little roll. We're very nearly there. Lovely. Okay, last stretch here. And we're going to bend the knees, lift the left knee onto the right knee. And you can either stay like this and just feel that stretch up the left glute, or we can interlace the fingers behind the knee and then slightly pulling the right knee towards us into a sort of lying down pigeon pose. This is a really good stretch for the glute muscles. Taking the legs back down, popping the right leg across the left. And again, either just staying in this position, if that feels like enough of a stretch, or slightly bringing this left leg up towards us here. Good job. Okay, rolling over onto our side. Our last little movement of today, either sitting cross-legged or you can take one leg out to the side. Make sure that you're comfortable. We are going to end with a little spinal twist. So taking the arms out to the side is one option, or you can have your hands on your chest here. We are going to rotate to the side. So exhale as we twist. Inhale to come back to center. Exhale to twist. Inhale to come back to center. I always put these exercises into my Pilates classes because a lot of women in particular, especially women who have had any pregnancies will find a little stiffness in this area of the body. So opening up and twisting, and this is a really useful exercise to help us to open up, bring in a little bit more movement and open up those breathing muscles. Lovely. Give the shoulders a nice little roll. And thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you really enjoyed the session. It was a short little session, but hopefully a perfect little sort of warm up for the weekend, because let's face it, it's Friday, it's nearly the weekend. Let me know how you found the class. I hope you enjoyed it, but your feedback is really, really important. Hopefully you won't feel too sore after the session, but as I say to all my clients, make sure you stay really well hydrated throughout the day. And if you have got any muscle soreness, practice some of these movements, opening up the shoulders, taking a hot bath, things like that. But let me know how you get on with the session. I'm going to upload this onto the app as well so that you can play it back later if you enjoyed it. But I hope you have a really lovely day and hope to see you again soon. Thanks very much, everybody.